Hey everybody and welcome back. I'm about to tell you a true story so shocking and brutal about a pirate whose name still echoes through history. Believe it or not, this is the true account of a man who, according to some lore, inspired a character Roronoa Zoro, One Piece. Now, while Zoro himself is an entire work of fiction, the legend he might owe a nod to is the very real, bloodstock life of Francois Lyonnaise. Trust me, what I am about to tell you and share with you is both disturbing, fascinating, and it all happened in the unforgiving waters of the 17th century Caribbean. So, grab your seat, fasten your seatbelt, get your favorite snack, and tell me what you think. And if you enjoy this sort of content, make sure you hit the like button, grab a hold of the subscribe button, and basically let me know if you enjoy this sort of content and you'd like me to bring this to you on the weekly, because this is new. But let's dive into the story of Lyonnaise. Our story begins in the mid-1600s, in a time where the Caribbean was a battleground of lawless expanse, where European empires fought for empire and riches, and where pirates roamed completely free. And out of these dangerous waters emerged Francois Lyonnaise, a French pirate whose cruelty would rock the very foundations of the colonial world. Not much is known about his early life. His origins are shrouded in mystery, but what is clear is that as soon as Lyonnaise set sail for the New World, he forged a reputation unlike any other. Historical records tell us that Lyonnaise was not just any pirate. He was a man who led with terror. His ferocity was so extreme that the Spanish dubbed him the Flail of the Spanish, and with good reason. When Lyonnaise launched his attacks, he wasn't simply after treasure, he was after total domination through fear. Officially, privateers were supposed to stick to attacking Spanish ships, but when France and Spain butted heads in 1667 and, well, between 1667 and 68, those rules went straight out the cannon window. The coast of Venezuela became fair game for pillaging. And did Lyonnaise take advantage? In 1667, armed with 600 men and 8 ships, Lyonnaise and his crew left Hispaniola and Tortuga to wreak havoc. These weren't just any pirates, they were the predators in human form. Before hitting Venezuela, they snagged 2 ships and looted them for silver, jewels, weapon, gunpowder, heck, anything that was on that ship. Their big target was Maracaibo, a bustling settlement of 4,000 people and the pearl trade capital of the region. When they reached Maracaibo, they did what pirates do. They took the fort. But here's the kicker. The fort had 16 cannons, all pointed at the ocean, all pointed at right where the ships would come in. But guess what? The buccaneers attacked from land, bypassing the heavy artillery entirely. It wasn't just clever, it was downright terrifying. But here's where it goes truly grim. The locals of Maracaibo weren't sitting around waiting to be robbed. They'd seen this coming. They fled into the woods with whatever treasure they could carry. Anything that they could take from their homes, they took with them. Lyonnaise wasn't about to leave empty-handed though. Over the next 2 weeks, he sent his men into the woods, hunting down fleeing villagers like prey. They tortured and executed Spaniards. Then it was on to Gibraltar, across the Lake of Maracaibo. This was no easy win, no. Gibraltar's defenders weren't messing about. They fought back with 8 cannons and managed to kill and wound around 70 of Lyonnaise's men. That still leaves over 500, but ultimately Gibraltar fell. 200 defenders were left dead, 150 were captured, and what followed was a 4-week-long nightmare. Through the settlement, pillaging, killing indiscriminately, threatening to burn the town down unless the inhabitants came up with the ransom money. They came up with and paid 10,000 pieces of 8 silver pesos, thinking that was over, right? Nah, the pirates sailed back to Maracaibo and pulled the same exact stunt again. Bigger ransom this time though, 30,000 pieces of silver from the Spanish authorities. Leonés returned to Tortuga with all of this gotten loot, and you can guess what happened next. Wine, beers, buying, betting, you can guess. It didn't take long before all of it, all that 40,000 plus everything they got, was gone, and the treasure was all spent. The only thing left was the siren call of the sea, and Leonés wasn't just a pirate, he was a monster, and he continued to do these things over and over again. It's one of the bloodthirstiest chapters in the history of privateering. You have to wonder, what kind of man looks at the world and decides to tear it apart for his personal gain? And that's the question that lingers. But as with all outlaws who blaze a path of terror, fate has a curious way of catching up. Despite his brutal success, the very savagery that gave Leonés his fearsome reputation would eventually lead to his downfall. Now, we've found historical accounts, varying detail, but most agree that his end came near the Bay of Honduras. In a twist of poetic justice, a concept not foreign in the murky morality of pirate life, Leonés met his demise in a violent encounter. Ambushed by local forces, some sources even note that his end was as brutal as the life he had led. Legends rarely die. In fact, some go as far as to claim the infamous reputation his raw brutality may have sparked modern depictions of swordsmen and pirates, leading in a roundabout way to the creation of characters like Roronoa Zoro, like I mentioned from One Piece. Now, while Zoro's character is a product of the creative and brilliant storytelling, the grim reality life shows the darker side of what piracy truly entails. There you have it, a true story of one of history's most brutal pirates, Francois Leonés. His savage deeds and violent legacy are not something taken lightly. This isn't just a story of blood and treasure. It's a sobering glimpse into a world where the line between legend and terror blurred into one horrifying reality way back then. So the next time you watch One Piece and cheer on a character like Roronoa Zoro, remember that behind that fictional hero lies an echo of history, a reminder that real-life pirates like Leonés once ruled the seas with an iron fist, and their stories continue to haunt those who know them today. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as chilling as I did, be sure to like and subscribe and share your thoughts below in the comments. But one thing to bear in mind, this is a new segment, and if you enjoyed this, make sure you shout out about it, because I would love to continue it. And any suggestions from you of how this can be improved, maybe there's a story you want me to tell, let me know that down in the comments and we will see if we can get to it. But as always, much love from me, and I will see you in the next one.